it is not even close to being considered balanced. So I was a massive Destiny 1 fan. Despite all its flaws, I really enjoyed the game. Destiny 2 came out, I was not that excited about it. It wasn't that fun, so I took a break and played other games. What was I playing? I don't know. Rainbow Six Siege. But despite all that, I came back to the game. Came back to Destiny 2. Turns out Beyond Light had just dropped, and I was super stoked to be in time for the new season. And then I played it. The new subclass for all three characters had just dropped. The Stasis subclass, or the Behemoth, the Revenant, and whatever the hell the Warlocks one is. I fucking hate Warlocks, so I don't care. All three of these subclasses involve ice. So, as you would imagine, their abilities involve freezing enemies. And that includes you, in the Crucible, over and over and over again. Your enemy can't kill if they're
frozen by glacial grenades, Warlock melee, or Stasis supers.
I've seen enough.
The Stasis subclasses in Crucible are incredibly good. All of them involve freezing your opponent and either killing them with your gun, or, the fancier way, shattering them with whatever shatter ability your subclass offers. And honestly, I wouldn't be all that mad about it, because it's an ice-based subclass, so freezing your opponents makes sense. If it wasn't for 5 seconds. See, you can break out of the ice, right? And it makes sense for you to break out of the ice, right? You get frozen in Crucible by someone's ice subclass, and you break out of it. But that's not automatic. You can't just stand there and then you break out of the ice after a second like a stun grenade. You know, it's like a stun effect where like, oh, you're frozen for a second, and now you're good. You have to manually break out of the ice. And for you to activate the breaking out of the ice effect, and then you go back to being ready with your gun, that takes 5 whole seconds. You're basically dead. In a high-paced shooting game like Destiny, if you're not moving for 5 seconds, you're dead. Especially because you more than likely got frozen in a high combat area. Look, Crucible is rarely in a healthy state. That's just how Destiny's been for a while. Bro, what the fuck is this? Oh my god. You know, I could talk about how there's a couple guns that are meta-defining that are actually unavailable to all players unless you've already had them. But that's not the point of this video. This video is about Stasis. And Stasis is dumb. And dumb in the way that, you know, games try to avoid being pay to win. Destiny has done a pretty good job of avoiding that, I want to say. DLCs involving new supers, typically it was just a different playstyle. The super that came out was really good when it dropped because there wasn't really a counter to it. People hadn't encountered it, and so it was, you know, hard to deal with. But Stasis is a little different here, because Stasis is, without question, the best subclass options for Crucible. They're the best. There's nothing better than them. None of your light-based subclasses come close to what the Stasis subclasses can offer. And the only way to get the Stasis subclasses is to buy the new DLC Beyond Light. It's the only way. You can't unlock them anyway. There's no long quest you have to do. You have to buy the DLC, and after you beat the campaign of the DLC, which takes about 4 hours, you have it. You have the Stasis subclass. You can upgrade it further, make it even stronger. But, you know, you have it. It's the only way to get it. You have to buy it. So basically, the Stasis abuse going on in the Crucible right now is actually just a big marketing scheme by Bungie to get you to buy Beyond Light. If you're a Crucible player and you don't really care too much about the PvE content in Destiny, you hop on every now and then, you want to go to Crucible and play, you're going to get destroyed because you don't have the subclass. And you can't get it until you know, buy the new DLC and play through the story. So it's a marketing scheme. Because it's so much better than all the subclasses that you have, you're either going to have to, A, just deal with it and put up with the fact that everyone's going to destroy you because they have a subclass you don't have and it's so much better than what you have. B, just quit the game because there's no point in playing because you don't have the subclass. Or C, buy the DLC. And look, I'm all for games having expansions to further increase the content that you get out of the game. That's cool, that's fine. You shouldn't have to mandatorily buy it, though, to enjoy the game. All it is that you're missing out on a little bit of content that everyone else who bought it's gonna get. But in this case, if you didn't buy this year's DLC, you're gonna just actually perform worse than everyone else. And there's not really much you can do about it, other than, buy Beyond Light. It's great, you get the best subclass in the game, you get a story that's, it's kind of cool. Most of the bosses that you have to fight, you can kind of just beat by abusing Stasis. You also get the best exotic heavy in the game, the Lament. You get a bunch of really good weapons. Not much for your Crucible experience, I guess, but most of it is just kind of stasis abuse and nades anyways. There's not much gunfights anymore because you're too busy getting shattered or frozen. I would say a gunfight classifies as two people shooting at each other. Not one person being frozen in ice and the other person shooting at them. That's not a gunfight. But I digress. The Stasis subclass is ruining Crucible, I would say, way more than the fact that Felwinter's Lie is not available to everyone, even though it's the best shotgun in the entire game, and True Prophecy just kind of abusing everyone at ranges, even though that's not available anymore either. I would say Stasis has made everything worse, because even though those weapons are top tier and you can't get them anymore, so if you don't have them, you're never going to have them, Stasis is purchasable, and it's basically screaming, hey, loser, you didn't buy the DLC? What are you, a broke boy? Fine, do worse than everyone else. We didn't really need you anyways. And the thing is I'm not even like a top tier Crucible player or anything. I play a little bit of comp every now and then with my friends because I like the game mode. Hell, I'm not even good at the PvE side of things. So I can't even imagine going into like the higher tiers of Crucible, like Trials of Osiris, because that's where people who are actually good go. And if you're good with what's already destroying people, you're a menace. You're gonna absolutely obliterate anyone who looks to play casually, and I can't even imagine going against those kind of players. Which makes those kind of events to get that kind of loot ridiculous. I don't want to play Trials. Not that I would want to play Trials, because I heard that there's problems there as well, because the weapons you get from Trials aren't even worth the grind to go flawless. Now look, despite me not actually being that good at Crucible, I really do enjoy the multiplayer aspect of Destiny. I always have. But something like Stasis being available to everyone so long as their wallets can allow for it is ridiculous, because every time I load into a match, I'm getting frozen nonstop. It's not even a matter of get good or anything like that, because it's everywhere. It's happening to everyone. Everyone's getting frozen. Everyone's complaining about it. And Bungie's just, I guess they don't care. I don't know. It actually got to the point where I fell into the marketing scheme, because I had zero intention of buying Beyond Light, because I just wanted to play Crucible. But because I was getting bullied so much by ICE, I decided, f*** it. I will spend the $40 and, I'll get the ICE, and I will become part of the problem. And soon, me bullying someone with ICE will get someone else to buy Beyond Light. And honestly, a game getting to that point is not healthy. It's not good for the game. Because even though I was willing to buy Beyond Light in order to compete, not everyone would be willing to do so. I think the player base for Destiny has probably dropped a fair margin because of Beyond Light, because of Stasis. People who want to give Destiny another chance will load the game up, only to be welcomed back by ICE. And ICE everywhere. And them sitting there with their bow, their Fist of Havoc, and, all the other subclasses, and just stare at everyone else being frozen and shattered, then them getting frozen and shattered. It's not good for the game. You can't have something like this be better. It doesn't make sense. Why would you make that? Why would you want everyone else to be left out because they didn't buy your DLC? And not left out content-wise, because Destiny has always released DLCs and expansions. That's always how the games work. They just keep releasing more content to keep the flow of the game going. It's a grind fest. That makes sense. That's how Destiny works. But those people who decided, I'm going to opt out of getting this new season, they've never been so left out before. You know, maybe they'll miss out on a raid, they'll miss out on some loot, but they weren't playing that season, so most of that stuff's not going to be relevant when they hop back in. But for them to be greeted by ice, not the best. You know, them being greeted by the best thing in the game, and it's hidden behind a paywall, it's not the best or healthiest way for your game to be operating. Now, despite all my complaints, will I stop playing Destiny? No, it's latched on to me. I'm obsessed again. I'm addicted. I can't stop playing it. It's a problem. I need help. But that doesn't mean it's good. That doesn't mean just because I'm going to keep playing it, that doesn't mean it's good for the game. And I really do think it needs to be addressed. Hopefully, Bungie will eventually address it in a way that's healthy for the game. In a way that's healthy for both Stasis users and normal people. I'm kidding. Stasis people, you have a place too. You're okay. But yeah, that's going to wrap up everything that I wanted to talk about. Sorry for the clickbait. I know you guys wanted to hear some sort of weird argument about why Stasis is actually good for the game, but I don't think you can find a single sane person in the community that agrees that Stasis isn't a healthy place. No one thinks that. And if they do, they're smelly. Before I go, I just wanted to let you guys know that I do stream on Twitch. It's at twitch.tv/actuallydeets. The links will be in the description below. I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I've been playing a lot of Destiny on there, so if you want to catch some of that Destiny gameplay, feel free to check it out. Also, feel free to join the Discord. The link will be down below. We have an awesome little community that we're steadily growing, and it'd be awesome to see you there. But that's everything I have to say about Stasis so far. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to leave a like if you did, and let me know in the comments how you feel about Stasis or any interactions you've had with the Stasis subclass in Crucible that has made you despise the subclass. This has been Actually Deets, and I'll see you guys next time.